Hello students. In today's video, let's continue with molecular orbital theory. In the previous video, we started with energy level diagram for molecular orbitals before we ended that video. And I told you how the molecular orbitals are arranged in increasing order of their energies. And I told you two different orders like this. This is followed by molecules like O2, F2, and this by molecules like Li2, Be2, and N2. And these are experimentally determined data. And I hope you remember bonding molecular orbitals and antibonding molecular orbitals. So in today's video, we are going to continue with this energy level diagram for molecular orbitals. In the previous video, we just listed these molecular orbitals in the increasing order of their energies. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to draw this energy level diagram for this molecular orbitals, and we are going to see a few examples of molecules, diatomic molecules, and understand their formation based on molecular orbital theory. In the previous video, for hydrogen molecule, I showed you the molecular orbital diagram. We had 1s and 1s. Above we had sigma star 1s, and below we had sigma 1s, which is the bonding, and the one which is written above is the anti-bonding. So that is for hydrogen molecule. Now when it comes for molecules like oxygen, nitrogen, 2p orbitals are also involved. When you take hydrogen, only 1s orbital is there. So when two hydrogen atoms combine to give you a hydrogen molecule, there was combination between 1s and another 1s. But here when you come to oxygen, nitrogen or fluorine, 2p orbitals will also be involved. So when 2p and 2p undergoes combination, you will end up with, see, sigma 2paz, sigma star 2pz, pi 2px, pi star 2px, pi 2py, pi star 2py. See, when 1s and 1s undergoes combination, which means the atomic orbital, you will get two molecular orbitals, sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. Same way, when 2s atomic orbital and another 2s atomic orbital undergo combination, you are getting two molecular orbitals, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. Same way, when 2pz and 2pz atomic orbitals undergo combination, you will get two molecular orbitals, sigma 2pz and sigma star 2pz. Same way, 2px and 2px, you will get pi 2px, pi star 2py. When 2py and 2py undergoes combination, you are getting two molecular orbitals, pi 2py and pi star 2py. So we have this order. Now we will see the energy level diagram for these two orders. We have seen two orders, one molecular orbital order for Li2, Be2, B2, C2 and N2, and the other order for O2 and F2 molecules. Now see, here I've started with 2s. Below this, what you will have 1s, 1s. When 1s and 1s undergoes combination, we get sigma 1s, sigma star 1s. We usually don't represent that here. We put that as kk, capital KK. What is mean by KK? It represents the K shell, principal shell, because 1s orbital, it is present in K shell. So we'll abbreviate that molecular orbital as KK. So we are starting with 2s. See, 2s, 2s, when they undergo combination, you are getting sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. This is how you are supposed to represent. And remember, this is the atomic orbital. You have to write here. This is the atomic orbital. This is the molecular orbital. And this is again atomic orbital. So all this are atomic orbitals and all this are atomic orbitals, and this one is molecular orbital. Now 2s is over. Now coming to 2p. In 2p, we have 2px, 2py, 2pz. Same way we have 3 here. And we know when 2p and 2p undergo combination, we will get 6 molecular orbitals. What are they? Sigma 2pz, pi 2px, pi 2py. Sigma star 2pz, pi star 2px, pi star 2py. And we know the order. You know, for Li2, Be2, B2, between these two, this has the lower energy, and both are equal, so you are putting them together. So pi 2px, pi 2py, two boxes, and above that you have sigma 2pz and above that you have pi star 2px, pi star 2py, equal energy, and higher energy is sigma star 2pz. So it is arranged in increasing order. This way of representing molecular orbitals is called as molecular orbital or MO diagram. See, MO diagram. So this is how we have to draw. And all this with asterisk are antibonding molecular orbitals. And coming to this is the molecular orbital diagram for O2 F2 molecules. See, this is same. 2s, 2s, you're getting sigma 2s, sigma star 2s. Coming here 2p, here 2p, 3 boxes for 2px, 2py and 2pz. And see, this part is same. Pi star 2px, pi star 2py, sigma star 2pz. Coming here, this is interchange. In the case of oxygen and F2, sigma 2pz has lower energy than pi 2px and pi 2py. So this is changed. So for nitrogen, you'll draw this, and for oxygen molecule, we will draw this orbital diagram. So now, while filling the electrons in these molecular orbitals, I told you already, rules should be followed. Just like how we follow certain rules to fill atomic orbitals, for filling molecular orbitals also, certain rules should be followed. First one is half-bar principle. So when you are filling the electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is the order you are supposed to fill depending upon the molecule that you are taking and the number of electrons present in that molecule. See, I repeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 6. What rule is that? This is called as Hund's rule. Unless the same energy orbitals are singly occupied, pairing will not occur. So 5, 6 and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is the order you have to arrange the electrons. And why I say 1, 2 and then going here for 3, 4, this rule is half-bar's principle. Lower energy is filled first and then the higher energy. Why I stopped with just 2 electrons here? Because that is Pauli's exclusion principle. Each molecular orbital can accommodate maximum of 2 electrons having opposite spins. So each box will have only 2 electrons and it is arranged in increasing order. When it comes to degenerate levels, which means orbitals having same energy, it should be singly occupied, then only pairing should occur. So these are the rules that should be followed while filling the molecular orbitals. Before moving on to examples, we'll see the connection between the electronic configurations and the molecular behavior. When we say electronic configuration, it is the distribution of electrons among various molecular orbitals. It's called the electronic configuration of the molecule. When we say electronic configuration of the atom, we actually mean the distribution of electrons among various atomic orbitals. So the electronic configuration of the molecule, or you can say the molecular orbital energy level diagram, gives very valuable information regarding the behavior of the molecules. So I have listed a few informations that you can get from the molecular orbital diagram. First, we have seen there are 2 different types of molecular orbitals, bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. When we put Nb, this represents the number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital. When we write Na, it represents the number of electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbital. So remember this, Nb is number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbital, Na is the number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Now, what information you can get from the orbital diagram? First one is stability of the molecule. When Nb is greater than Na, which means when the bonding electrons are more in number than anti-bonding electrons, then the molecule is stable. When number of bonding electrons are less than the number of anti-bonding electrons, or if bonding electrons are equal in number with anti-bonding electrons, then the molecule is unstable. Okay, so when bonding electrons are more, the molecule is stable. When the anti-bonding electrons are more, then the molecule is unstable, or even if both are equal, then also the molecule is unstable. And the next one is bond order. Bond order is defined as the number of covalent bonds in a molecule. When bond order is equal to 1, which means a single bond is present in that molecule. When bond order is equal to 2, there is a double bond. When bond order is equal to 3, then there is a triple bond in the molecule. And this is how we represent bond order. Bond order is equal to half the difference between the number of electrons in the bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals, or you can write Nb minus Na divided by 2 gives you the bond order. See, bond order is represented like this, and when bond order is 1, it tells you the type of bond, covalent bond in that molecule. If it is 1, single bond, 2, double bond, 3, it is triple bond. And you have to remember one thing which we have already known. Bond order is proportional to bond dissociation energy. When bond order is more, you need more energy to break that bond. Because when you say bond order 1, you have a single bond. Bond order is 2, double bond. Which bond needs more energy to be broken? Double bond. So when the bond order increases, bond dissociation energy increases. And what is bond dissociation energy? The amount of energy required to break that particular bond. So both are directly proportional, and this is inversely proportional to bond length. Bond order is inversely proportional to bond length. So higher the bond order value, smaller will be the bond length. And we know single bond is smaller in length than double bond is shorter in length than the single bond. So as the bond order increases, bond length decreases. So you can say the stability of the molecule also from the bond order, because when the bond order increases, bond dissociation energy increases. So that increases the stability of the molecule. The last one is magnetic character. When you look at the molecular orbital diagram, if all the electrons are paired, then we say that substance is diamagnetic, which means it is repelled by the magnetic field. When there is unpaired electrons, then the substance is paramagnetic, which means it is attracted by the magnetic field. So remember, when there are unpaired electrons in the molecule, then the particular substance is paramagnetic, which means it is attracted by the magnetic field. If all the electrons are paired, then it is diamagnetic, which means it is repelled by the magnetic field. So these informations you can get from the molecular orbital diagram. Now we will move on to the examples. We will see bonding in some diatomic molecules. First, let's take hydrogen molecule, and it is formed by the combination of two hydrogen atoms. So let's take two hydrogen atoms. Each hydrogen atom has one electron in 1s orbital. See, this is the electronic configuration of this hydrogen, and this is the electronic configuration of this hydrogen atom, 1s1 and 1s1. So each hydrogen atom has one electron in 1s orbital. So there are two electrons in hydrogen molecule, because these two atoms are going to combine to give you H2 molecule. So there will be two electrons in the hydrogen molecule. Both these electrons are to be accommodated in the lowest molecular orbital. As per Pauli's exclusion principle, both of these electrons should have opposite spins. So this will be the orbital energy level diagram for H2 molecule. Molecular orbital energy level diagram for H2 molecule. So you have 1s from this hydrogen atom, this 1s from another hydrogen atom. Both are having one electron each. Now they will form two molecular orbitals, bonding and anti-bonding. So how many electrons are there in hydrogen molecule? Just two. So put two electrons here and stop. We are not supposed to fill it here, because we have only two electrons, and these two electrons are accommodated in sigma 1s, and sigma star 1s is empty. So what is the configuration of hydrogen atom? 1s1. Now what is the electronic configuration of H2 molecule? Sigma 1s2. See, sigma 1s, two electrons are there. So sigma 1s2. Now how to calculate the bond order? Bond order in hydrogen is equal to, what is the formula that I told? Number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital minus number of electrons in anti-bonding. MO divided by 2. So in bonding we have 2 electrons, anti-bonding 0. So 2 minus 0 by 2 gives you 1, which means hydrogen molecule has a single bond. Now coming to magnetic property, see here in molecular orbital electrons are paired. We don't have any unpaired electrons. You should not look at this. This is atomic orbital. We are talking about hydrogen molecule's magnetic property. So you have to look at the molecular orbital. All electrons are paired. So the magnetic property, it is diamagnetic. And the bond dissociation energy of hydrogen molecule is found to be experimentally 438 kilojoule mole inverse, and the bond length is 74 picometer. So this is how we draw the molecular orbital energy level diagram for hydrogen molecule. So first you should find out how many electrons are there in the given molecule, and you have to write the electronic configuration for that molecule. Then you can calculate bond order, magnetic property based on that. Next diatomic molecule is helium molecule. So when you take helium molecule, this molecule is formed from 2 helium atom. And what is the atomic number of helium? 2. So what will be the electronic configuration for this atom? 1s2. So in helium molecule, if we have two helium atoms, then there will be 4 electrons in the helium molecule. So like this, one more helium atom is going to combine to give you helium molecule. So what will be the electronic configuration for helium molecule? See, we have 1s2 electrons and 1s2 electrons. So these two are the atomic orbitals of helium. So this helium atom has 2 electrons in 1s, and this helium atom has 2 electrons in 1s. So they will form 2 molecular orbitals, sigma 1s and sigma star 2s. So how many electrons are totally there in helium molecule? 4 electrons. So 2 will be accommodated here in sigma 1s and 2 in sigma star 2s. So totally 4 electrons. Now coming to bond order, Nb minus Na by 2. We have 2 in bonding and 2 in anti-bonding. So 2 minus 2 by 2, that gives you 0. So since the bond order is 0, this indicates that there is no net bonding in helium molecule. So He2 molecule should not be formed. It is just a hypothetical molecule. So in fact, there is no experimental evidence for the existence of this molecule. Which molecule? He2 molecule. So if they ask you why He2 molecule is hypothetical, why it is not formed, then you have to write this diagram, molecular orbital diagram, and calculate the bond order and show since it is 0, this molecule does not exist. And how will you write the electronic configuration of helium molecule? Here it should be sigma 1s2 sigma star 1s2, 4 electrons. So this is the electronic configuration of helium molecule. Now coming to next molecule, lithium molecule. And what is the atomic number of lithium atom? 3. So the configuration will be 1s2 2s1. So in lithium molecule, which is Li2, how many electrons will be there? 6 electrons. So if they ask you to draw the MO diagram, then you can go with this diagram, or else you can simply write the electronic configuration of the molecule. Suppose if they are asking you what is the bond order in lithium molecule, what is the magnetic property, in such cases if they are not asking you to draw the MO diagram, you need not draw that, just go with the configuration. So Li2, we have 6 electrons. We know the order of molecular orbitals. See, sigma 1s 2 electrons, sigma star 1s 2 electrons, sigma 2s 2 electrons. See, 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6 electrons are filled. Or as I told you, this can be abbreviated as Kk, because this in the principal shell, K shell. So Kk sigma 2s 2. So now look at this. This is bonding. This is also bonding. So how many electrons are there? 2 plus 2, 4 electrons. So the number of bonding electrons is equal to 4. Anti-bonding electrons is equal to 2. So how to calculate bond order? Bond order is equal to Nb minus Na by 2. So 4 minus 2 by 2, that gives you 1, which means there is a single bond in lithium molecule. And these values are experimentally found. Bond dissociation energy is 110 kilojoule mole inverse, and bond length is 265 picometer. And the magnetic property, look at the electrons in the MO. MO means molecular orbitals. All are paired. No single unpaired electrons are there. So the magnetic property is diamagnetic. If there is any unpaired electron, then the magnetic property will be paramagnetic. Let's see carbon molecule. Electronic configuration of carbon atom. Atomic number is 6. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. So electronic configuration of carbon molecule C2, there will be 8 electrons. Why? In one atom we have 2 plus 2 plus 2. So totally 6 electrons are there. But in the outermost shell, you're not going to take this. In the outermost shell we have 4 electrons in each carbon atom. So there will be 8 electrons to be accommodated in the outer molecular orbital of C2. You can write this as 12 electrons also, 12 electrons, and you can write the entire configuration. Or suppose if you are going to abbreviate this as kk, then we can write this as 8 electrons because we are going to take the outermost shell. So there are totally 8 electrons, or you can say totally 12 electrons. Now how will you write the molecular configuration, electronic configuration? See, sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, because 1s and 1s you are getting these two molecular orbitals, 2s and 2s of another carbon atom you are getting these two molecular orbitals, and 2px and 2px of another carbon atom. Now see, here we have written 2p2. This 2p is actually 2px, 2py and 2pz. When we write 2 according to Hund's rule, it should be like this. So 2px of one carbon atom and 2px of another carbon atom will undergo combination. So you will get pi 2px2. Same way 2py and 2py of two carbon atoms, you will get pi 2py. Actually, you will be getting pi star 2px and pi star 2py. But while increasing order and when you are filling with electrons, we will stop with this. So actually, we will be getting all this. Along with that, you will get two more here. See, like this. Remember this order. So sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, and then you have 2pz, 2px equals 2py, pi star, and it goes on. But in carbon molecule, we have only 12 electrons. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. We are stopping with this. This will be empty because we have only 12 electrons and that 12 electrons are filled till here. So now how to calculate bond order? Nb minus Na by 2. And Nb, number of electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Say bonding 2, this is bonding 4, this is also bonding 6, bonding 8. So number of bonding electrons 8. Anti-bonding just 2 molecular orbitals. So 2 plus 2, 4. So 1 by 2, 8 minus 4, that gives you 2. So the bond order in C2 molecule is 2, and that shows that there is a double bond in carbon molecule. You should note one thing here, the double bond in carbon molecule consists of both the pi bonds because of the presence of 4 electrons here in the pi MO orbital, which means molecular orbitals. In most of the other molecules, when there is a double bond, it is made up of one sigma bond and one pi bond. But here carbon is an exception since both the electrons are here in the pi orbital, molecular orbital. Now coming to magnetic property, is there any unpaired electrons here? All are paired. So the magnetic property is diamagnetic. The next one is nitrogen molecule. Electronic configuration of nitrogen atom is this: 1s2, 2s2, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1, because the atomic number is 7. There are 7 electrons. So in nitrogen molecule, which is N2, how many electrons will be there? 7 plus 7, 14 electrons will be there. So these 14 electrons, how we will fill this in the atomic, molecular orbital kk, 4 electrons are over here. So this is kk, 2, 4 electrons over, and you have to fill the remaining 10 electrons. See, sigma 1s, 2s, 2 electrons, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, pi 2px 2 electrons, pi 2py 2 electrons, sigma to pz 2 electrons. So this is the order for nitrogen, and for carbon also this is the order. But see, we have one more molecular orbital here because we have 2 electrons extra. So this is the electronic configuration of N2 molecule. Now, how to calculate bond order? Find out the bonding and anti-bonding electrons. So this is bonding 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and here in KK here 2 electrons. So 10, totally 10 electrons. And then anti-bonding 2 from here, this K, another K, sigma 1 star 1s, 2 electrons, 2, 4. So Na is equal to 4. And bond order will be half 10 minus 4, that gives you 3. If you don't want to take the bonding and anti-bonding electrons from KK, then you can count only this. Then also you will get the same answer. Look here, bonding electrons 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 minus 2. So 8 minus 2 gives you 6. 6 divided by 2 gives you 3. So when there are 3 bonds, when there are, when the bond order is 3, then there are 3 bonds. Of that 3 bonds, one is sigma bond and the other 2 are pi bonds. So in nitrogen molecule, the 2 nitrogen atoms are bonded by a triple bond. And look at the magnetic property, all the electrons are paired, so it is diamagnetic. Now let's try to fill these electrons in the molecular orbital diagram that we have seen just now. See, look here, we have 2 electrons, sigma 1s, 2 electrons, and that is KK, so we are not going to represent here. Starting from sigma 2s, we have 2 electrons here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is how we draw the molecular orbital diagram for N2 molecule, and these will be empty because we had only 14 electrons. So we stopped here. If we have a few more electrons, for example, for oxygen, you'll be having 16 electrons, so we will be filling here also. So just like how we fill atomic orbitals, we are filling the molecular orbitals also with as many electrons we have in that particular molecule. The next one is oxygen molecule. How do we get an oxygen molecule? By the combination of 2 oxygen atom. In one oxygen atom, we have 8 electrons, and this is the electronic configuration. So in oxygen molecule, there will be 16 electrons, and that 16 electrons will be filled in the molecular orbital, and this is the electronic configuration of the oxygen molecule. So there are 10 bonding electrons and 6 anti-bonding electrons. So the bond order will be equal to 2. Out of that 2, which represents a double bond, one is a sigma bond, the other one is a pi bond. And when it comes to magnetic property, we have unpaired electrons here, so it is paramagnetic in nature. And the bond dissociation energy and the bond length, which are experimentally determined, has a value of 498 kilojoule mole inverse, whereas bond length is 121 picometer. So this is how we write the electronic configuration of molecules based on molecular orbital theory. Now what we are going to do, we are going to compare 4 different oxygen species and see their bond order and how it affects their behavior. First, let's take oxygen molecule ion, O2 plus. See, O2, O2 plus, O2 minus and O2, 2 minus species. So first one we are taking O2 plus. It is called as oxygen molecule ion. How can you get this O2 plus from O2? When you remove an electron from O2, you will get O2 plus. See, 1 electron removed. Next one is O2 minus, which is called as superoxide ion. How can you get this? When you add an electron to oxygen molecule, you will get O2 minus. And the last one, peroxide ion, O2 2 minus. When you add 2 electrons to oxygen molecule, you will get O2 2 minus. Now, this is the electronic configuration of O2 molecule. How can I write the electronic configuration of O2 plus? I have to remove 1 electron. So that 1 electron will be removed from here. So till this will be the electronic configuration of O2 plus. And the next one, O2 minus. How do I get O2 minus from O2? By adding 1 electron. So I have to add 1 electron, and that 1 electron will be added here. Okay, these are degenerate level. They are singly occupied, so now pairing occurs, so that one extra electron comes here. Now see, this is the electronic configuration where you have pi star 2px2 equals pi star 2py1. So this is the electronic configuration of O2 minus. And the last one, O2 2 minus, you have to add 2 electrons. So 1 electron here and 1 electron here. So you will have pi star 2px2 equals pi star 2py2. So we have written the electronic configuration of all these species. Now, when you see the magnetic property of oxygen, it was paramagnetic because it had unpaired electrons. See, O2 plus, what will be the magnetic property? We have removed one electron, but still it has one unpaired electron. So again, this is paramagnetic. Same way, when you take O2 minus, we have added one electron. So this paired up, but still we have one more electron. So this is also paramagnetic. When it comes to O2 2 minus, we have added two electrons. So now all the electrons are paired. So O2 2 minus is diamagnetic in nature. They will ask you a question giving all these species. Out of these species, which will be more stable? For that, you have to compare the bond orders. See, this is the MO energy level diagram for O2 molecule. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So totally 12 electrons here. We haven't represented sigma 1s and sigma 2s. There we will have 4 electrons, so totally 16 electrons. So when it comes to O2 plus, you will remove 1 electron from here. When it is O2 minus, you will add 1 electron here. When it is O2 2 minus, you will add 2 electrons, 1 here and 1 here. Now let's see the bond order. For O2, number of bonding electrons 8, anti-bonding 4. So the bond order is calculated to be 2. Now for O2 plus, we have removed an electron from here. So one anti-bonding electron is reduced. So 8, 3. So now the bond order is 2.5. Same way for O2 minus, 2 anti-bonding electrons are added up. So now the bond order is 1.5. And for O2 2 minus, the bond order is 1 because 2 electrons are added. Here one more electron is added. Here 2 electrons are added. Now the bond order is 1. Now we have seen already bond order is directly proportional to bond dissociation energy. So that is directly proportional to the stability of the molecule. So as the bond order increases, stability increases. So now look here, which has the highest bond order? O2 plus. So O2 plus will be more stable, and then comes O2 oxygen molecule, and then it is O2 minus, and finally O2 2 minus. So this is the order of bond dissociation energy. It decreases in this order. So the stability also decreases in this order. And we have also seen bond order is inversely proportional to bond length. So the reverse order will be the order of bond length. So O2 2 minus will have the largest length and O2 2 plus will have the least length. And these are the experimentally determined bond dissociation enthalpy and bond length. So if you look at this, you can understand as the bond order increases, bond dissociation enthalpy also increases, but the bond length decreases. So this is how you have to compare different species based on the molecular orbital theory and compare their behaviors. And so that's the end of this chapter, chemical bonding and molecular structure. Thank you.